last time on Tower of Fantasy.
You guys still needed me for something this simple?
"抱歉，葬礼正在进行中，飞起。"
The former Anchor Infinity has now entered the asset restructuring phase. Work will be carried out under the guidance of a special task force jointly established by Apex and Hycros headquarters. The Project Astralis will be restarted with joint support from Apex and Hycros headquarters. This time, the Hope Fleet's objective is to delve deep within the space-time turbulence. Ms. Brevi, a scientist from Hycros' Special Task Force, has led her team to the Hope Fleet. Brevi's team is incredibly experienced in research on space-time turbulence.
Bleep bloop! Long time no see, Authorizer. Oh, wait, I should instead refer to you as Acting Archon of District 4. Did I miss something?
In fact, this was the first thing decided in the last meeting. Nanto and Veronica share their distrust of Hycros and insist you take on the role of Acting Archon of District 4.
So since I'm the Acting Archon, will someone eventually replace me?
Don't worry. Nobody can take your place here. Hycros just wanted to make their position clear, which is why they added the word acting. In the future, District 4 will be jointly governed by Hycros and Apex. They trust only you, so your appointment as Archon is the first step for any future negotiations.
So what kind of negotiations did you all have?
It all comes down to 3 main points: the resettlement of the Kailians, the space-time properties of the Kailo, and Apex's restructuring plan. Which one do you want to hear more about? Now the Kailians can travel freely between here, Asperia, Vera, and beyond. Your friend Linsis can keep her promise too. Those who have passed can finally return home to rest. Claimed ashes will be returned to each family one by one. Unclaimed ashes will receive a communal funeral arranged by Hykros, so they can be properly laid to rest.
When did you meet Lynsis?
Acting Archon, you could learn a thing or two from your Kylian friend. She's a real negotiator. Got Hykros to compensate her for her shop, fund her journey, and even cover the whole funeral.
I'll think about it. Oh, there was some Kylian server. You know about it, right?
That situation is indeed a bit of a headache. We've come up with some ideas, but that's also the main reason we wanted to talk to you. Helix Bio Inc. has been shut down, and we've taken over many of their related documents. To quickly awaken those who survived in the server, we've developed the Project Awakening.
What can I do?
First, to make sure their brains can safely disconnect from the servers, Voidpiercer needs to work closely with Lana to prevent server fluctuations from messing with normal Kylian society. Second, I need you to help convince Dr. Claire to join us. She's the top researcher in human consciousness and omnium technology, and her expertise will be crucial.
I understand. Once I get back to Asperia, I'll do my best to persuade her. But about her and Hykros...
I'm not forcing you to drag her here. Just do your best.
Now that we're on the subject, there's one more thing I want to ask. Will everyone on the server survive?
I'm afraid that's not possible. Miss Aglaia, as leader of the Project Awakening, already gave a detailed briefing at the meeting. The first Kylians connected to the server were seriously injured survivors of the space station disaster. Once they're disconnected from machine support, they'll need immediate medical care. Lynsis' nurse friend, Ms. Legisis, will check and monitor everyone's health in Project Awakening and decide who has the potential to undergo awakening.
What will happen to them next?
If someone can't be awakened, we'll remove them from the server as quickly as possible. A specialist will handle their remains, with Lynsis overseeing the arrangements.
And for those that can be awakened?
The situation is much more complicated for those who can be awakened. Their consciousness data is incomplete and varies from person to person, so each will need a personalized approach. Fortunately, your experience awakening Miss Aglaia was a big help. After his earlier failure, Nanto has become much more adaptable to the brain-machine interface. Right now, he and Miss Aglaia are overseeing preparations for the brain-machine interface lab and plan to train the first cohort of brain-machine awakeners within 6 months.
Sounds like we have our work cut out for us.
With Dr. Claire's help, I believe we're well suited for the task.
I will do my best.
It all comes down to 3 main points: the resettlement of the Kylians, the space-time properties of the Kailo, and Apex's restructuring plan. Which one do you want to hear more about? As for that, I'll let our space-time turbulence expert Brevi explain.
Where should I even begin? After all, I just got here not too long ago, and my research has only just started.
Why don't you start by telling me what you're researching?
The nature, laws, and application of space-time turbulence. What we can confirm is that Kailo's space-time turbulence is very similar to the Abyss current, though there are some differences.
I've noticed that too. The space-time turbulence here seems more intense than the Abyss current, or maybe it's just harder to predict?
We tried using timestamp technology to build a larger Abyss current control device and push its power to the limit, but all it did was stabilize the space-time turbulence. Through various detection methods, including personally entering it, we've confirmed that Kailo's space-time turbulence cannot be completely shut down.
Why? Does Kailo have a hive mother stronger than the one in Domain 9?
We suspected that at first, but with Dr. Rubelius' help, we've ruled it out. Instead, under Kailo's unique conditions, the Hive Mother and the Gray Space entity evolved into what we now call the Astral Hive.
I still don't understand. Why are Kailo's space-time turbulence and Abyss current so different?
The emergence of an Abyss current usually signals a powerful Gray Space entity, like a Hive Mother, but Kailo's space-time turbulence likely comes from a massive, ever-fusing omnium mine.
I just remembered. Those bugs on planet Noah. They have the ability to venture into the depths of a space-time turbulence to search for omnium.
Yes, Dr. Robelia also believes Kailo's xenoid was once a special kind of gray space entity, a symbiotic organism tied to that massive omnium deposit.
I still don't quite get it, though. Where did that massive omnium deposit actually come from?
During the cataclysm, the Kailo space station was orbiting Ida. Think of it as a signal amplifier. The omnium fluctuation from the explosion was amplified by it and transmitted to even further out.
Further out? Is that the huge omnium mine you mentioned?
Correct. Two similar waves resonated, causing another explosion. The ancestors of the Astral Hive, like the Kailians, were caught in the blast and lost their homes.
So the space-time turbulence is a result of the explosion?
How do I put this? Have you ever seen a quantum hole, like one buried underground with tunnels branching out everywhere? Or a house that's been blown apart?
Are you saying the space-time turbulence is the Astral Hive's nest? Or the cracks torn open by the explosion?
Aha! It's like a house built over a giant quantum hole. When the hole collapsed during the explosion, the house fell in. The Kailians lived in the house, the bugs lived in the quantum hole.
So the quantum hole itself is a massive omnium mine, and those xenoids, after losing their home, are digging through humanity's ruins trying to find their way back?
You're almost getting it! Kailian space-time turbulence is powered by a massive omnium mine ignited by the cataclysm, which is why we can't easily shut it down. Those scattered, erratic patches of space-time turbulence are actually two parts of the Astral Hive trying to find each other. Next, I'll explain how we monitor and stabilize it.
Hold on. I feel like my omnium science knowledge can't keep up with your lecture. Just be straight with me. What are your current research findings?
There's still much we don't know. The omnium mine is just a metaphor. Where does all this omnium come from? A mine, a star like Mara, or a hive mother beyond our imagination?
You still don't know?
I don't know. That's why Hykros funds Project Astralis. Fortunately, General Veronica is an idealistic hero, just like the protagonists in those comics who never stop moving forward. I only chatted with her for a little while, and I couldn't help but want to help her pursue her dream of exploring the unknown. Hope beyond the stars.
Speaking of Project Astralis, I just heard on the news that it's been restarted, and the objective is to explore space-time turbulence. Is that really safe?
Don't worry, the abyss current and space-time turbulence are very similar in nature. Though we can't shut down the turbulence, timestamp tech has been quite effective at stabilizing and monitoring it.
As long as everyone in the fleet is safe, that's what matters. I think I learned a bit too much science today.
It all comes down to three main points: the resettlement of the Kailians, the space-time properties of the Kailo, and Apex's restructuring plan. Which one do you want to hear more about? From the credit system to the manufacturing of spaceships and mechas, and every aspect of the Kailians' daily lives, everything was once supplied and managed by Anchor Infinity. With Rafa fallen, Lana's model accelerating, and Aglaia now awakened, Kailo is about to face a major upheaval.
I thought Apex and the Hope Fleet would team up to stop Hykros from interfering in Kailo, but I never expected it would end up being Apex and Hykros joining forces.
General Veronica has always considered Project Astralis her top priority. She also helped topple Anchor Infinity because Rafa kept getting in the way of her plans. She's an excellent leader with good judgment. But for a project as massive as Astralis, you need a logistics team that's highly efficient and extremely well organized.
Can Hykros provide these?
This is all thanks to you. Without your link to Domain 9, we wouldn't have been able to bring in timestamp tech to help the fleet stabilize and monitor the space-time turbulence.
What about Apex?
Anchor Infinity only took over Apex in the past decade or so. Both management and rank and file staff still include many people from the old Apex. Even if Aglaia hadn't woken up, nor had Nanto cleared his name, the old Apex staff would have rebuilt everything. Names may change, but these people will carry on Anchor's legacy and restore Kailo. So, an independent Hykros branch here is unrealistic. Instead, you should bridge us to the Todd family to rebuild a new Apex with Hykros involved, so Kailo can get back on track as soon as possible.
As expected, you quickly found the best way to protect your interests and even secured a partnership in such a short time. I'm impressed.
How could a deal be struck so fast? The credit system, Planet Noah's Omnium reactor, Anchor Infinity's assets and patented technologies. We haven't had a chance to discuss any of this in detail. Only when you formally accept the appointment as the acting Archon of District 4 can we proceed with meaningful negotiations.
Sounds like I don't have any room to refuse.
Do you have any reason to refuse?
Well, a role this important sounds exhausting, doesn't it? Perhaps I'm just too lazy to take it on?
If there are specific tasks you want to handle yourself, do them. Anything that's a hassle or too hard, anything you don't want to do, just leave it to me.
Sounds like I'm just some figurehead, huh?
Not exactly. Think of it more so like the relationship between Nanto and Aglaia.
What does that mean?
Nanto carries the burden left by his adoptive father, sustained by an obsession to revive Apex. He has been covertly plotting for years, all to rebuild Apex and rescue Miss Aglaia. During the negotiations, Nanto pressed for greater influence on Aglaia's behalf to maximize the Todd family's interests. Unfortunately, Aglaia herself appears largely uninterested.
Nanto has always aimed to fulfill Asurata's vision for the Todd family, which requires Aglaia's cooperation. But what Nanto wants may not match what Aglaia desires. You want to construct the Tower of Fantasy and develop Omnium technology. It requires my cooperation. But what I want is to piece together the shattered Ida and rebuild a beautiful life for Shirley.
However, we're different from them. I'd like to think my relationship with you is at least closer than that of an aunt and nephew who've only just met.
Even if they're not blood relatives, they're still family, right?
Nanto often calls Asurata by name, but he only ever calls Aglaia aunt. This shows that his relationship with her is distant, maintained only through a superficial family title.
I suppose that means we can refer to each other more casually.
So, if I were to personally ask you to accept the post of acting Archon of District 4, would you do it?
If I really become the acting Archon, what do I need to do to live up to that title? Is it possible for me to make Kailo a better place?
What do you believe Kailo needs to become a better place?
A place that wouldn't drive Asurata to his death. A place where Linsis could live a decent life without having to rely on deceit. A place where Nanto and Veronica can uphold their ideals without compromising their conscience. A place where good people rarely turn evil, and evil people find no reason to do wrong.
The environment can change a person, but not everyone will be swayed. Some people, when faced with challenges, are simply more likely to abandon their principles than others.
No one is perfect. In extreme circumstances, anyone could be forced to sacrifice something. But if those circumstances never arise, no one would have to sacrifice a thing.
Is this your insight into Kailo? No wonder everyone who comes to see me insists that you serve as Kailo's acting Archon.
Not sure if I mentioned this, but I met pre-Cataclysm Asurata in the network. Every time I see Nanto, I feel a bit like an elder to him, as if he carries echoes of everything Asurata went through. Before the Cataclysm, Asurata would never let a kid shoulder Kailo and Apex's future. A later chance encounter reinforced my belief that he did everything he could to protect Nanto's freedom and dreams. But as his life neared its end, everything that had happened in Kailo forced him to betray the creed he once upheld, leaving the heavy burden to the only person he could truly trust. Now that Aglaia has awakened, the reconstruction of Apex is imminent. By a better Kailo, I mean at least a place where such tragedies won't happen again.
You're an idealist, and that used to worry me. But not anymore. Only those who can hold on to their ideals after seeing life's darkness and human nature have the potential to change the world.
Thanks for the compliment? So does this mean that every time I see you from now on, I'll have to learn something new?
Learning and mastering are two different things. Once you become the acting Archon, your journey will have only just begun.
Don't say things that'll make me regret saying yes to you. So, about accepting the appointment, what do I need to do? Do I have to take some kind of exam, or is there a ceremony?
When you get back to Hykros, we'll make the arrangements. I'll go help you get ready for the return trip. We should be able to head back with Lindsys. In the meantime, say your goodbyes to your friends from Kailo.
Most of Anchor Infinity's people have been cleared out, and former Apex employees have taken over production line management at companies like Robocore Inc.
Currently, Apex is still facing staff shortages, and Ravenport Shipyard is ready to take over the production line for civilian spaceships.
Spaceship production and maintenance should be restored soon, but it will take some time to meet the demands of Project Australis. The biggest challenge remains the energy supply. Authorizer?
It's been a while indeed.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. I'm going back to Ida, so I came to say goodbye. Why is Helene here, though?
Veronica said I have extensive experience navigating space-time turbulence, so she invited me to be the fleet's navigation advisor.
I see. By the way, I just saw the general's speech on the news. Congratulations! Project Australis can finally be restarted.
That may be true, but there's still a lot to do before we can actually launch the first fleet. What type of organization will Hykros and the Todd family form? And how will duties and collaboration work? Also, how will shipping, fuel, and related companies operate going forward? That doesn't even include details like personnel preparation or safety management. Only after all of these are finalized can Project Australis truly be restarted.
You're saying that in front of me on purpose, aren't you? Don't worry, I've already told Plotty I'll accept the appointment as the acting Archon.
That's wonderful. You accepting that role is crucial for us.
But you should still know that most of the specifics are still handled by Plotty and the other Hykros personnel. I'm just a convenient figurehead.
Figureheads matter. In ancient warfare, some soldiers' sole duty was to remind each side of the consequences. And those soldiers were always the last to fall. Their presence was a rallying point for thousands. As long as they stood, there was still hope.
You don't get it either, do you? General Veronica will sometimes suddenly say things I don't get when we discuss navigation plans, but sometimes in hindsight it makes sense.
Thank you, Helene. I'll take the time to really think about what you said. Let's leave it at that for now. After I go, if you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out to me.
Goodbye.
Win. Fuck everything else. Win. These niggas ain't shit. Win. Stop chasing that bitch. Win. Fuck niggas don't stay outside when I play outside. I put the beats on them like Dre outside. I got the bow side and LA outside. And if you act bad, I bring the cow side. Go and get your money, bitch. None of my niggas on some funny shit. I can tell real by who you're running with. I'm all in the field, duck hunting shit. Hit my plug just to re-up and he was like, boop. Yeah. Migo knew just what it was. Flipped the whole dub and gave it back, boop. Yeah. 9/11, no mileage, baby. 9 ball with no violence, baby.
Miss Lechesis, the Helix Bio Inc. data you requested is all here.
The data left by Helix Bio Inc. is very detailed and can help Project Awakening a lot. However, confirming the specific safety indicators for Awakening will require some more in-depth research.
All of this data comes from their inhumane experiments on humans. The more detailed the data, the more the Kylian people suffered. As a Todd, I must take responsibility.
You only just woke up and you're already jumping back into work. Are you sure you're okay with that?
Hello, Acting Archon.
Lottie already told you guys about the promise I made to her?
On to Glea. I'll go and help Miss Lechesis for now.
Thank you.
Are you okay?
No. If you woke up, found everyone you knew gone, suddenly had a nephew you'd never met, and carried memories from a parallel world that felt out of reach, along with all this mess, would you be okay?
Sorry, that wasn't what I meant to ask. But hearing your complaint puts me a lot more at ease. You just mentioned memories of parallel worlds. Have you managed to sort them out?
When I woke up, I was lost for a long time and couldn't tell what was real. It wasn't until Nanto showed me my brother's things and told me all I missed in Kailo that I began to truly understand. I've finally begun to understand which memories are my own experiences and which were parallel lives I experienced through data transferal. I trust you completely because of those memories from the virtual worlds. I'm still the same person who experienced the Kailo space station disaster. I'm sorry if I've disappointed you.
How could I be disappointed? I'm just worried you might get lost after everything you've been through, struggling to adapt. You don't have to become someone else or live up to anyone's expectations.
How could I not live up to it? So many people are still waiting for me to awaken them, and I have to make my brother's dreams come true.
You've only just woken up and now you're burdening yourself with heavy workloads? The Project Awakening. I heard about it from Plotty. That's not something you can solve overnight.
The work on this matter will be handled by Miss Lechesis and the scientists from Hykros. Hykros is said to have a scientist with extensive experience in human consciousness.
Yeah, as soon as I get back to Asperia, the first thing I'm going to do is contact her for help.
But this is only the beginning.
What makes you say that?
As I just mentioned, after 40 years frozen, waking up has thrown me into a world that's completely foreign. But I consider myself lucky, as I have Nanto to help me get accustomed to everything.
There are many Kylians on the server who have been frozen even longer than you, right?
Yes, 1.2 million people. Even if only a quarter of them awaken healthy like I did, that's still 300,000 people. They'll need somewhere to live once they wake up. With Hykros' help, plus backing from Asperia and Vera, providing for them and ensuring they have food, shelter, and work shouldn't be too difficult. The hard part is giving them a place where their hearts can belong. Especially for the awakened with no family or friends. Helping them reintegrate into society requires long-term effort.
Whether it was when you first arrived in Kailo, during your time in the server, or now after waking up again, you've always been looking out for everyone else.
What, are you writing my award speech? If you want to come work on the Project Awakening, I wouldn't say no.
I want to help, but I'm not familiar with this sort of thing and I don't really know how I can.
I actually have something I need your help with, but it's unrelated to the Project Awakening.
What is it?
I need to confirm one thing first. Did you know my brother in the virtual past?
Yeah, I think he's a really good person and truly an amazing brother.
In that case, could you take me back to Asperia? I want to bring Nanto to see our hometown and rebury my brother.
No problem. I can do that for you. I'll go get ready now.
Wait, I'm not finished yet.
Anything else?
The collaboration between Apex and Hykros is a decision we made reluctantly after careful consideration. Furthermore, there is a reason we can only accept you as the acting Archon.
I understand. It's because you can't really trust Hykros, right?
In the virtual past, you learned about the history of the Norns Federation, But how much do you really know about the Servant in Hykros before that explosion?
To be honest, not much. The Servant has always kept itself well hidden. As for Hykros, it was just a research institution of the Federation. But some scientists in it had already joined the Servant.
After I woke up, I heard Nanto talk about a myriad of things, which reminded me of some archive materials I saw when my brother and I were rebuilding the Ark space station. Upon arrival on Kailo, we only knew that our father had been persuaded by the government to fund the space station. After the explosion and chaos, only we could repair the space station. It was then that we finally accessed the original documents for the space station construction plan. It turned out that Kailo's space migration plan was initiated by 3 scientists from Hykros. Not only that, they were also deeply involved in establishing several core subsidiaries of Anchor Infinity. Unfortunately, by the time we found out, they had already died in an air crash.
So those scientists were actually the Servants hidden in Kailo? And Krog Hans, he was a high-ranking officer in the Norns Federation's Joint Defense Force, and in fact, he was one of the Servants. If I remember correctly, the Kailo Expo Hall recorded that after Anchor Infinity discovered Zeronium, they developed the credit system with the authorization of the Kailian government. Thinking about it, the Kailian government, Kailian military, and Kailian Hykros had all been thoroughly infiltrated by the Servant long before the Cataclysm.
Yes. Nanto and I went back through the archived documents left by homecoming historians. Only now do we see that many events were being manipulated behind the scenes by the Servants. Nanto's parents probably never realized, even until the end of their lives, that it wasn't their support for the homecoming that killed them, but that they had discovered traces of the Servant. By forming the Icarus Legion, Krog Hans betrayed the Servant for his daughter, but after knowing the horrors of this universe, despair drove him to continue the Servant's plan to welcome the Master.
Do you think the initial members of the Icarus Legion might have actually known about the Servant's existence?
Of course. The Icarus Legion had encountered more than one covert purge by Anchor Infinity. Lola and I are alive thanks to Krog Hans keeping everything well hidden. It appears Anchor's past suppression of the homecomers wasn't driven solely by power and profit, but by fear. If the Icarus Legion succeeds, the Servant will inevitably be exposed.
You never realized that behind all of this lies the power of the Servant, which is why you always thought Hykros, the one who initiated the Ark space station project, was the enemy.
Even now, we still don't fully trust Hykros. That explosion wiped out too many leads. No one knows how many Servants survived or where they're hiding.
Servants are known for hiding within other organizations, like parasites clinging to a host. That way, if their plans fail, they won't be exposed, and the blame won't fall on them.
I'm telling you this as a reminder. They're incredibly cunning. Be extremely careful and scrutinize everyone you meet in Hykros. If necessary, you could use the network and talk to another version of me. From the details we uncovered back then, there might be things even more useful than the truth about the Cataclysm.
Thanks for the reminder. I'll think it over. What happened? Why are you in such a hurry to meet with me?
Finally! Now that everyone is here, I declare the Icarus Legion's renaming ceremony officially open!
Renaming ceremony?
Please welcome Captain Carrot for a speech! Ahem! I hereby announce that, from this day onwards, the Wednesday crew will be known as... the Icarus Legion! To Icarus!
So beneath the mask was the Icarus Legion.
Grandma, I'm starting to understand the meaning of the wings of Icarus. Today, the Icarus Legion is taking you and everyone back home. I can finally go back and play with Hilda and the others.
Why say such nonsense on such an important day?
I'm the captain. I say what I want. You're just the first mate. You do as the captain commands.
You're a child, and I'm your mother. You have no choice but to listen to me.
As captain, I announce that we're adding a new segment to the renaming ceremony. Next, each of you will share your wish list for after we return to Ida. I'll go first. I want to go see Hilda and the others, and take Linces to see the ocean, the desert, the rainforest, and the flower fields, and eat a lot of carrot cake.
Then, I wish to take everyone back to our homeland, hold a proper funeral, and lay them to rest. Then, I'll travel all over Ida with Carrot, and turn my shop into a chain across Ida.
Second mate, it's your turn.
Me? I want to reclaim all of Ida's land, to find my lost friends, and to recover my memories.
Then I want to be there with you for everything you want to do.
Surely, isn't there anything you want to do for yourself?
Wait a minute. Where's Mia?
Huh? Mia? Mia. Looks like it's over there. This feels familiar.
My brother, that time.
Please, Mia, I'm sorry. Can you talk to us? When we get back to Ida, what do you want? We'll make it happen.
Mia, no. Don't bring the little kid. The little chubby kid. Mia, since you're so mad this time, I, being the grown-up, won't take what you say personally.
Fine, fine. I promise I won't force you to be Carrot's gaming buddy anymore. Surely.
It's great that Mia's willing to talk.
The spaceship is ready. It's time to depart.